Hey kids, stop what you're doing. If you're under the age of 13, you're not supposed to watch this video. This video and all the videos on my channel are designed for adults, not for kids. So if you're under the age of 13, you're not supposed to watch this video. Sorry about that. Thanks. Greetings, Internet dwellers. It is I, John Lovelace, your Admiral, here to talk to you about all kinds of new things. Now, we used to talk a lot about comics, movies, video games, things like that, and we're changing what we're doing here. I got a new purpose in life. Since I got this liver transplant, I'm all about being better, stronger, faster. I want to build myself up and be a better version of me, and I think that might be fun to each week to talk to you guys about that same thing. So what I want to do is I want to revamp what I'm doing here on the John Lovelace Show, and instead of talking about silly stuff, which not that I don't love comic books, video games, movies, and all that stuff, I love that stuff, but not that I don't want to talk about that. Instead, what I want to spend my time talking about is motivation, inspiration, and how we can be our better selves, how we can live our best life. That's what I'm all about now. And I think that, with some inspiration, you guys can take that information and really start to see big improvements in your own life. If you'll take some of these principles that I've learned and apply them to your own life. And again, I hope that you find the show entertaining the way we're going to do it now, but I also hope that you find something meaningful in it and that you can learn something from it. That's the goal. To educate, to amuse, and to inspire. Those are my passions at this point. That's what I want to do. So that's what the new John Lovelace Show is going to be all about. So go over to johnlovelace.com. I got a brand new website. Go over and check it out. You look for our blog post every week. Hopefully we'll have something new up there for you to read and be inspired about. There's a newsletter you can sign up for, and you can get stuff sent directly to your inbox. And eventually we'll have things that you can purchase over there, like books and things like that you can read and gain inspiration and motivation from. So we're excited about this new mission in life, this new thing we're doing, and we hope that you want to be a part of it. Now, for today, what I want you to do is I want you to think about, and for some people this will be more real to you, more relevant, more your life, than other people, because some people experience this to a greater degree than other folks do. But I want you to think about failure and the fear of failure. Now, how often in your life has that fear of failure, the idea that I don't think I can do that, how often has that held you back? Okay, now, to some degree, I think everybody has experienced this. I know I have. And I know that guys specifically, and I can speak to the issues that guys deal with more so than girls, but it's universal in a lot of ways. But guys specifically, I know you know what I'm talking about. How often has the fear of failure or the fear of rejection even held you back from talking to a lady that you were interested in? I really, really like her, but I don't think that she would give me the time of day. And so you never even ask. You never introduce yourself. You never go up to her. You never say anything because you just don't believe in your heart that she could possibly be interested in you. And here's the fact. You're probably right. But what if you weren't? And so this idea is that, the idea that this fear of failure is going to keep you from trying. Well, if you never try, you're guaranteed never to succeed. So this is a principle. This is a foundational principle that I'm going to start teaching, is that if you fail to try, you are guaranteed never to succeed, okay? There is no way that you can ever be successful if you fail to try. Now, here's the thing that you probably need to know, is that if you are willing to accept that you're going to fail, but then you go anyway, then you will eventually succeed. That is a principle, all right? You have to understand that the truth is you probably will fail, but that it's okay. Not only is it okay, it is a necessary step in your journey to success. Failure is a necessary step in your journey to success. In fact, you probably know a lot of people, or at least I don't know personally, but have heard of a lot of famous people that were massive failures before they were successful. Let me give you just a couple examples of some, okay? First, let's think about Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln, all right? Now, would you say Abraham Lincoln is successful? Of course you would. I mean, he's the most famous, probably the most famous and greatest of all United States presidents, right? Do you know that Abraham Lincoln, went to the military to be a captain and came back a private? He was an utter failure in his military career. It was horrible. Do you know that he ran for office a number of times and was not elected, couldn't get elected dog catcher before he finally became the president? So what if at any point in Abraham Lincoln's journey, he just said, I can't do this. I quit. I'm just going to go be, a storekeeper or a shopkeeper or something, and just lived his life of mediocrity and just never tried anymore after that. Well, you wouldn't know his name now. Let's think about Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison, famous creator of the light bulb, and Thomas Edison was told by his teacher that he was too stupid to learn anything. Thomas Edison, Albert Einstein received similar criticism, said that he was too stupid, he would never amount to anything. Albert Einstein was considered to be mentally retarded or handicapped. Okay. These guys both become wildly successful. I think Thomas Edison holds thousands of patents. And the rumor is on Edison, he created the light bulb. The rumor is, and I don't know exactly how many attempts he had, but the rumor is that he had thousands of attempts to create the light bulb before he finally got it right. Now, that doesn't mean that he wasn't able to get one to light up at all. He probably was, because he understood the basic concept of how the light bulb was supposed to work. What he couldn't get it to do was last very long. He couldn't get the thing to burn more than a few minutes at a time, and so therefore it was of no use to anybody. And if this thing's going to burn out every minute or 10, then we can't sell these to people because it's not viable. And so it took him thousands of times to get the filament in that thing where it needed to be so that it would burn for hours. And once he achieved that, then it was a commercial success. Then he could sell it to businesses and homes and things like that. And it revolutionized the world. But it took thousands of failures for Thomas Edison to get to that place. All right. Let me think about this guy. Think about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is routinely believed by most people to be the greatest basketball player of all time. I know there's some debate. Some people are talking about, King James. Some people are talking about Kobe Bryant, but in my opinion, I remember the Bulls back in the heyday. I remember the Bulls when they were everything. And there was nothing any more impressive to watch on the basketball court than Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan famously said this. Did you know Michael Jordan was kicked off his high school basketball team? So his high school basketball coach didn't think he was good enough to play. So there's that, first and foremost. But did you know that Michael Jordan said this? Michael Jordan said, and I quote, and I'm reading here, "I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career." So however many he made, he missed more than that. Kind of like a baseball batter. They have like a 300 batting average is good. That means you strike out 2/3 of the time. It means you get a hit much less often than you don't, and you're still considered successful. All right. Michael Jordan said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I have lost almost 300 games that I've played in. On 26 different occasions," he said, "I have been entrusted to take the game-winning shot, and I missed and lost the game." He said, "I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." And that's the key. That is the key, because to some degree, failure is a component of success. In other words, you don't always have to fail to be successful, but more often than not, it's one of the steps that leads to success. You see, in failing, a couple of things happen. All right. One is the more you fail, the more you increase your odds of success just out of sheer numbers. Because even a blind squirrel finds a nut now and then, right? So that if you continue to fail, you are more likely than not eventually to find something, as long as you're changing your approach each time, because, the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over again and expect, the different results. All right. But if you're changing your approach each time, then just out of sheer numbers, eventually you're going to have to be successful. The idea is that if you ask 100 girls out on a date, a certain percentage of them will say yes, whether it's 5%, 10%, however many. So if you want to get a girl to go out on a date with you, the idea is that you only have to ask enough times and eventually somebody will go. But if you ask 2 or 3 times and nobody goes, then you just stay home alone because you gave up, you quit. So it's just a numbers game. At a sheer number of attempts, the more often you try, the more often you will be successful. But then in addition to that, there's something else that's even more powerful going on. And that is that with every failure, you learn something. With every failure, you learn something. You become better at what you're working on. You become more skilled in that area. With every failure, every life insurance agent that tries to sell a policy and doesn't, he should, if he's any good at all, pick up something in that attempt that didn't go right, and he will adjust his approach so that next time that won't happen again. Anybody that's doing anything, Thomas Edison, when he was making the light bulb, every time he made one that didn't work right, he learned what not to do. And by learning what not to do, he was able to apply the principles that made success possible. So 2 things happen as you continue to fail. One, you just increase the odds of success out of sheer numbers, because the more times you attempt it, the more likely you are to hit it. And Also, you learn how to get better at it. So in getting better at it, you increase the odds each time that your opportunity to succeed is more likely to be captured. So you increase your chances with the numbers, and you increase your chances with the skill level that goes up every time you fail. Failure is not a problem. And once you just accept the fact that you're going to fail and decide that you don't care, then success is just about guaranteed. Just about, as long as you stay after, as long as you don't quit, as long as you continue to press on. Now, this principle is even outlined in Scripture. Proverbs 24:16 says that, "For a righteous man may fall 7 times and rise again, but the wicked shall fall by calamity." So the Bible, when it talks about winners, it generally talks about righteous people, because in the eyes of God, those are winners, right? Righteous people, they got it going on. And he says a righteous man can fall 7 times, and if he's righteous, he'll get back up every time. Okay, and Rocky said the same thing. It's not, nobody's going to hit harder than life, but it's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How many hits you can take and keep pressing forward. That's how winning is done, as Sylvester Stallone said in Rocky. So that's the principle, that you never give up, never die, never quit. Keep pressing forward, keep pressing forward, keep pressing forward, and success will eventually find you, because it has nowhere else to go. It will eventually find you. I hope you guys enjoyed this today. My name is John Lovelace. Head over to johnlovelace.com and check out more content from us. Be sure and like and subscribe and click the little bell icons for notifications when new videos come out. And we appreciate you guys so much. We look forward to seeing you next time. Remember, every day, press the mark, gets better, stronger, faster. You guys have a good time. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.